Kyle Rittenhouse has been found not guilty.
Could they have just executed him on the spot?
In the shooting and killing of 2 men and the attempted killing of a third by a Wisconsin jury after 4 days and over 25 hours of deliberations. Rittenhouse was also acquitted on 2 counts of recklessly endangering safety. I mean, they say there that he's a paramedic, but he wasn't holding an assault rifle, so he doesn't seem like an authentic medic in this context. From the perspective of our judicial system, he did nothing wrong.
Oh shit, say it again.
Absolutely nothing wrong.
Oh, say something else.
Don't get into his motives. His actions were perfect. He shouldn't have made any different choices.
Everything he did is fine.
That is, unfortunately, I think, the lesson that some individuals are going to take away from this. If you had had an interest in grabbing a gun and going somewhere and ending up in some sort of situation, well, you can now be assured on 2 things. You already knew that you'd be able to raise millions of dollars to crowdsource your defense. You'd become a celebrity on the right, and now you've been told by the state that it's probably totally fine legally too.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
Yeah, so look, there are at least 2 different issues here, and we'll have to talk through both of them at a minimum. I think there's a bunch of other peripheral issues like the world's worst mom. Laura Wood.
The world's worst mom.
So I want to get back to that later. But the 2 issues are, did the jury rule correctly? And should he have been convicted? Should he have been acquitted in the case as a matter of law?
Yes.
And then the second issue is what he did okay? Okay, now if I don't think that it's quite sending the message that John said from a legal perspective. When someone is not proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, that doesn't mean that the state is saying what they did was okay. Now, in the case of the first person that he shot, it was Rosenbaum who had thrown a plastic bag at him, but someone had shot nearby. He heard the gun sound, then he apparently thought something was being thrown at him. He kills the first guy. The second guy hit him with a skateboard. Now, I wouldn't kill anyone if they hit me with a skateboard.
Could they have just executed him on the spot? And the answer is yes.
I think the real issue is, as a matter of precedent in the country, do we want people walking around with weapons provoking people, and then as soon as they're threatened in any way, start to kill people? Because if this is the standard, we're gonna have massive vigilante violence in this country.
This leaves us with 1,000 interesting questions. So if it's just self-defense in the first case, so someone shoots nearby, so he gets to kill someone nearby. So you can just carry a gun, and anytime you hear a loud noise, you get to shoot someone?
You're so dumb. You are really dumb, for real.
Like that's insane. You should have to prove that there was a good and then after he shoots the first person, anyone else nearby with a gun would have presumably heard that shot, so they get to shoot someone that's standing near them too. This is insane, and one of the most frustrating things for me about the right-wing response to this is many of them will immediately say, well, it's self-defense, it's law. You are not allowed to express any issue with the way self-defense is defined generally in this individual state, the way that it's adjudicated, who generally gets to use that defense. And we're just supposed to take it as given. We're supposed to just accept that the law as written is obviously right. It's not designed, nor in effect does it have particular outcomes. And we're being told this, I tweeted something to this effect earlier, by people who've spent the last half century trying to strip away women's reproductive rights. They've never just complied with the law and thought, well, if it's the law, then we can never question it whatsoever. We can never wonder if it should be the way it is. And here, it's just the law. Everyone shut up. And let's only focus on the last 30 seconds.
It's false.
So anything before 30 seconds before he started killing people, you can't question.
It's fiction.
So you can't show him talking on video about how he'd like to kill someone.
Not this time.
You can't wonder why he would bring a gun to this sort of situation.
Not a chance.
Why did he have to be there in the first place? What media had he been consuming that was encouraging these sorts of vigilante things?
This one was invented by a writer.
You should only pay attention to the 3 or 4 seconds before the shot, and that's it.
It's a total fabrication.
But they think the motivations of the people who died should go into our evaluation of this, but not the motivations of the guy who took a gun he never should have had across state lines and went to this protest.
Not this time. It never happened.
So first of all, guys, think about one of the points that John just made. So it's self-defense. If you hear a gunshot, you could just turn around and shoot someone. So it's self-defense. If you hear a gunshot, you could just turn around and shoot someone.
Bitch, are you dumb? Pardon me? Are you dumb?
Well, then under that theory, someone nearby could have shot Rittenhouse and said, well, I heard a gunshot and he had a gun, so.
Like medically speaking, are you like I'm not trying to be mean, like are you dumb?
Rosenbaum didn't have a gun, at that point he didn't even have a plastic bag, he'd already thrown it.
Yeah.
So he had no weapon at all and a jury just ruled it's self-defense to shoot that unarmed man and kill him, okay? Because you heard a gunshot.
Don't lie to me, bitch, I'm not cute.
Well, a lot of people heard Rittenhouse's gunshot. Could they have just executed him on the spot? Could they have just executed him on the spot? Could they have just executed him on the spot? Just and the answer is yes, according to the ruling we just had.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
What if you heard a cop shooting, but you didn't bother looking, and you just turn around just like Rittenhouse did? You just turn around, boom, execute the cop. Could they have just executed him on the spot? Boom, execute the cop. Could they have just executed him on the spot? Well, you heard a gunshot, that's self-defense. Could they have just executed him on the spot? Okay, and guys, the skateboard, it's insanity. The one good job that the prosecution did was in the closing argument when they said,
does anyone else have a right to self-defense?
or is only the person with the weapon allowed self-defense?
Well, one of them had a gun, so presumably only the person with the biggest gun has a right to self-defense.
Yeah, so did that guy have a right to self-defense as Rittenhouse was literally shooting him, right? Then the guy with the skateboard, did he have a right to defend himself from, he heard shots, right? Just like Rittenhouse did. They say Rittenhouse can kill someone if he heard shots. Well, Huber heard shots and he was defending himself with a skateboard.
Just remember, it's not a lie if you believe it.
Does that mean as a society now, we all have to be super heavily armed? Otherwise we lose the right to self-defense and we can be killed at any time.
No!
This just became an incredibly scary country. Yep. Okay, yeah, go ahead, John.
The way that I forget who put it this way, but the way I read it was the last person alive is innocent.
The last person alive is innocent.
That's what it is. You better be the last person alive, and then you were the one defending yourself. Everything else is just collateral damage along that path.
Well, John, let me agree further with you. So everybody saw Rittenhouse crying on the stand and everybody wondered, is it real, is it fake, etc. But there was a lot of people had sympathy for, oh my God, the poor kid. Well, how about Huber? So he never got to cry on the stand because he was murdered. Because he was murdered.
What the?
Oh shit.
Or now killed, officially killed, not murdered. And so you never got to see him crying. You never got to see him do anything. He was killed as a young man in the streets because a maniac was running around with an AR-15 shooting anything that he perceived to be a threat after he started going in there, in my opinion, with the confrontation of bringing in weapons to a protest in the first place, right?
It's an urban legend that never happened.
So now that leads us to 2 other things. Just let me dispense with this real quick. The mom is the world's worst parent. She drove a 17-year-old with an AR-15 into what she perceived to be a dangerous riot.
It's a made-up tale. It's a total fabrication.
Oh, you want to go into in the middle of a dangerous riot? My 17-year-old son? Here, I'll drive you across state lines to do it. Oh, here's an AR-15, so in case a butterfly floats by, you just murder everyone. Okay? Oh, here's an AR-15, so in case a butterfly floats by you, a butterfly floats by you, a butterfly floats by you, just murder everyone. You just murder everyone.
You just murder everyone. Okay?
Murder everyone.
Okay, I'm sorry, kill everyone, okay? She is a despicable parent.
Yeah.
No sane parent would ever do that. But the right wing in this country is crazed. They're crazed. They can't wait to shoot people. It's crazy.
They're crazed. They can't wait to shoot people.
Which leads me to the biggest culprits of all, the Rittenhouse fans or supporters. Yes, that includes all of them. All of the Alex Jones, the Tim Pools, the Joe Rogans, the millions of crazed Rambo wannabe right-wingers in this country. Joe Rogans.
Who are you gonna vote for in the primary?
I think Rambo wannabe right-wingers in this country.
I think I'll probably vote for Bernie.
Joe Rogans, who are like, oh yeah, why don't you just bring weapons? Self-defense, murder. They just want to kill. So they go into the middle of protests with these goddamn weapons, looking to pick a fight, and then the minute Rittenhouse actually shoots these people, they're ecstatic. They love that he killed them. That's why they're his fans. What is there to be a fan of? If the shoe's on the other foot, and some guy goes into the middle of a right-wing protest with an AR-15 and he's progressive. And he goes, oh, well, they provoked me. Somebody threw a plastic bag, the other one did a skateboard, so I killed him. I don't become a fan of that guy.
Yeah.
I don't become a fan of that guy. I say that's insane to go in the middle of a protest with an AR-15, looking to pick a fight. Stage provoked me, looking to pick a fight. Stage provoked me so you can kill people. Stage provoked me, but the right wing in this country is steeped in violence. They're soaked in blood, and they can't wait to kill. So guys, America, I hate to say it because I love this country, but America has now become a super scary place where people are constantly killing each other and getting away with it.
Look, just today, you will be thinking about this and not about the fact that the House passed Build Back Better. So the fact that you might save $1,000 a month on insulin, they don't want you thinking about that sort of thing because it might lead you to believe that the government can make your life better, that perhaps it owes you something. And generally, you should be terrified. You should be terrified. We're gonna tell you all the people you should be scared of. So that you will never, ever again think about your economic situation, how the government has failed you, and why, who it's actually serving. They love the focus on all of this stuff. They scare people like Kyle Rittenhouse constantly with their nonsense and then use the murders of people like him to scare you further. Now we're gonna be talking about both because we have an obligation to. We believe that there is some sort of ethical obligation when you're involved in journalism. But they don't. They love the idea that you will just constantly be That's what they want. They turn people into these knowing that that sort of population is never gonna pose any sort of risk to the most powerful and wealthy people in this country.
Oh, here's an AR-15, so in case a butterfly floats by, you just
Excuse me.
Kyle Rittenhouse has been found not guilty.
have just executed him on the spot?
Kyle Rittenhouse has been found not guilty.
A butterfly floats by, you just murder everyone.
Like, oh, you said that it was a white guy.